Hello, grade 4. How are you all doing? Today, let's discuss an important topic in the world we live in. Are you ready? Let's start. In this world, there are more than 7 billion people living in it. Many believe that the earth is round and not flat as originally believed. And three-fourths of the earth is covered by water and one-fourth by land. Astrologers claim that the movements of stars and other heavenly bodies have much influence on what happens in the daily lives of peoples and nations. They believe that the stars were very important guides for traveling and navigating. People of ancient times also thought that the earth was flat and horizontal. This is because what they saw around them and seemed to lie on a flat surface. Since they were not able to travel far, the early people saw only a small portion of the surface of the earth. Sailors were warned not to sail too far or they would fall off the edge of the earth. The question now is the earth round? There are three men who spent time in their journey to discover if this question is true. As early as 200 BCE, the Greek philosopher Aristarchus, using only his observations of his surroundings, said that the earth was round, but few people believe him then. In the early 1500s, Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer, went on a voyage and proved that by sailing westward from Spain without turning back, he could reach the east and eventually return to his point of origin. And Isaac Newton, an English scientist and mathematician of the 1600s, proved that the earth is round but not perfectly round. Let's talk about discovering the world through different creation stories. Since ancient times, many people have related deeply with the natural features of the earth. Indigenous communities like the Ifugaos, Aitas, Mangyans, and Tibolis of the Philippines, the Aboriginals of Australia, and the indigenous people of native North America have creation stories about the land and water forms. Number 1, creation story of the Tibolis. According to their myth, the Tibolis came from two couples that survived a big flood. Upon receiving a warning of a great flood from Diwata, the deity, the two couples took a huge bamboo and filled it with food. When the flood finally came, the four hid inside the bamboo. Everyone else drowned. After the great flood, the two couples split the bamboo open. They stepped out into the sunlight and they became the earliest ancestors. The first couple, Lakagef and Tamfeles, were the ancestors of the lowlanders, sea dwellers, uplanders, and other people in the Cotabato area. The other couple, Labebe and Lalomi, were the ancestors of the Visayans, the Ilocanos, and the Tagalogs. Number 2 is the creation story of Australian Aboriginals. When the earth was newly born, it was very plain. There were only water holes on the surface. Under the crust of the earth, the stars, the sky, the sun, and the moon, and the life forms were all sleeping. Then came a time when sleeping time and waking time were split apart. The sun rose through the surface of the earth. Its rays shone into the water holes. Under each water hole lay an ancestor, an ancient man or woman who had been sleeping all the time. The sun filled the bodies of each ancestor with light and life. Then the ancestors began to give birth to children. Number 3 is the creation story of the Ifugaos. After creating the earth, Macnongan, the greatest of the Ifugao gods, created the first man. He called him Uvigan. He wanted Uvigan to be happy. He gave him the whole earth to enjoy. But Uvigan remained unhappy. Seeing this, Macnongan created Bugan, the first woman. For many years, Uvigan and Bugan lived in innocence, happiness, and peace. Number 4 is the creation story of native North Americans. In the beginning, the Creator asked the animals to dive deep into water to get a tiny bit of mud. The water was so deep it almost had no bottom. Many animals died in their attempt to dive. Sometimes an animal succeeded and brought up a bit of mud. The Creator expanded the bit of mud into an earth island, which became home of the people, animals, and plants. Number 5 is Ikoi, the creation story of the Nigerians. In the beginning, there were two gods, Obasi Osau and Obasi Nisi. The two gods created everything together. Then Obasi Osau decided to live in the sky, and Obasi Nisi decided to live on the earth. The god in the sky gives light and moisture, but also brings drought and storms. The god of the earth nurtures the people and takes them back to him when they die. One day long ago, Obasi Osau made a man and a woman. He placed them upon the earth. They know nothing, so Obasanisi taught them about planting and hunting to get food. The following are the values these people hold about the planet Earth: the creation story of Tibulis, ensuring survival, Australian Aboriginals, interrelated all forms of life, Ifogaos, upholding peace and happiness, Native North Americans, sacrificing for common good, Ikoy, importance of hard work. In your own words, what do you think are the values that you can hold from the stories that we have discussed? For your first task, it's time to create your own story on how the world was discovered. Check the new assignment posted in your stream to complete your homework. Thank you so much, Grade 4, and God bless you.